Hello and welcome to This Date in History, also known as TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things that we personally find intriguing for us to bring to you. The sources of this information, of course, comes from the smart device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History,
Historical calendar,
and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music, and anything else we gather throughout the show, check the description. Anyway, I am Xander.
I am me.
And today is Sunday, also known as Sunday, May 1st, 2022. Why don't you start us off today?
Okay. In 305, Diocletian and Maximilian retired from the office of Roman Emperor.
Ah, I didn't know you can just retire. Cool. Moving on up into 880, the Nea Ecclesia was inaugurated in Constantinople, setting the model for all later cross and square Orthodox churches. Cool.
Cool. Also, 1169, Norman mercenaries land at Banal Bay in Leicester, making the beginning of the Norman invasion of Ireland.
Ah, those Normans. In 1486, Christopher
Norm!
Norm! Didn't have a beer. Actually, have an almost overly full glass of milk. Because I have a slice of cake over here. So, anyway, in 1486.
Okay, Clockwork Orange.
What?
I said, okay, Clockwork Orange, because he had a glass of milk in that damn show.
Anyway, 1486, Christopher Columbus presented his plans discovering a western route to the Indies to the Spanish Queen Isabella I of Castile. This is before his famous 1492. That was 1486, so that was 6 years before.
And also 1707, the Act of the Union joining England and Scotland to form the United of Great Britain takes effect.
Ah, cool. In 1753, the publication of Species Plantarum by Linnaeus and the formal start date of plant taxonomy adopted by the International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. Alright, so we start learning about plants better. That's cool.
Yeah. 1807, the Slave Trade Act of 1807 takes effect, abolishing the slave trade within the British Empire. Good.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about, I believe. Like, nobody talks about this, but Britain almost, completely decimated their economy by ending slavery. Now, granted, they still had slaves in Africa and everything, but, at least they were home, I mean, it's not good, but, still. But, up until, 2007 or 2014 or something, so, even up into modern times, people were still paying, the debts that created. So, all those people going out there saying, oh, the whitey's evil, blah, blah. No, he's not. He's done more against slavery than most other people, so.
But
anyway.
The white is evil.
What?
The white is evil. That fucker from The Office, he's evil.
From who?
The white. You don't see The Office.
No, I haven't really seen it.
Good. Me neither. I just know the name.
Ah. Anyway, in 1820, the execution of the Caddo Street conspirators who plotted to kill the British cabinet and Prime Minister Lord Liverpool occurred. All right.
Good. Also, 1940, the penny street, the penny black, the first official adhesive post stamp, is issued in the United Kingdom.
Cool. 4 years later, in 1844, Hong Kong Police Force, the world's second modern police force and Asia's first, was established. Cool. In Then in 1846, the few remaining Mormons left in Nauvoo, Illinois, formally dedicated the Nauvoo Temple. Mormonism. 1851, Queen Victoria opened the Great Exhibition at the Crystal Palace in London. Alright. And in 1863, during the American Civil War, the Battle of Chancellorsville began. Ooh.
Nice. Also, 1965, the Empire of Brazil, Argentina, and Uruguay signed a treaty of the Triple Alliance.
Nice. 1 year later, in 1866, the Memphis rape riots began. In 3 days' time, 46 blacks and 2 whites were killed. Reports of these atrocities influenced passage of the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution, which was talking about slavery and such, you know.
For shame of the dumb people doing that.
Yep.
1885, the original Chicago Board of Trade building is open for business.
Cool. What happened 1 year later?
1985, rallies are held through the United States demanding the 8-hour workday, accumulating in the Haymarket Affair in Chicago, in commemoration of which May 1st is celebrated as International Workers' Day in many countries.
Ah.
I didn't know that.
So happy Workers' Day, workers. Without you guys, the wheels of society do not turn. So, in 1894, Coxey's Army, the first significant American protest march, arrived in Washington, D.C.
Good. In 1898, Spanish-American War, Battle of Manila Bay, the Apathetic Squadron of the United States Navy destroys the Pacific Squadron of the Spanish Navy after a 7-hour battle. Spain loses all 7 of its ships, and 381 Spanish sailors die. There are no American vessels lost or combat ships. God damn.
Dang, they got.
Someone had so.
They got potato sacked with that.
Man, they got. Someone must have had cheat codes.
Yeah, I know, right?
In life.
Yeah. That's a one-sided battle right there.
That motherfucker hit the Konami code so many times.
Up, down, left, right, A, B, start. 2 years later, in 1900, the Schofield mine disaster caused the deaths of over 200 men in Schofield, Utah, in what is to date the 5th worst mining accident in United States history.
Cool.
Dang.
And in 1915, the RMS Lestina departs from New York City on her 202 and final crossing of the North Atlantic. 6 days, the ship torpedoed off the coast of Ireland with loss of 1,198 lives.
Yep, and this was the final straw that got the U.S. Into World War I. Like,
Damn.
yeah. This was basically like their version of Pearl Harbor, or, you know, in more modern times, 9/11. Like. Anyway, in the year 1919, German troops entered Munich to suppress the Bavarian Soviet Republic.
Damn. Also, 1921, the 7.2 MW Kopek Dag earthquake shakes the Iran-Turkmenistan border region of the maximum Macaulay intensity of 9, violent, killing up to 3,800 and injuring 1,121 people.
Dang. We missed one here. In 1925, the All China Federation of Trade Unions was officially formed. Today, it is the largest trade union in the world with 134 million members. Good Lord.
Okay. In 1930, Pluto is officially proposed for the name of the newly discovered dwarf planet Pluto by Vesto Sofer in the Lowell Observation Center. In the Lowell
Observatory Observation Circular.
Hitler.
Yeah. That is a tongue twister.
The name quickly catches on.
Ah.
Yeah, I don't catch it. The only reason why I catch on is because they named the dog after it.
Yeah.
Disney.
Disney. 365 days later, in 1931, the Empire State Building was dedicated in New York City. It's only 91 years. Well, not only, that's pretty long, actually. It's almost 100 years old.
Yeah. 1945, World War II, a German newsreader officially announces that Adolf Hitler had fallen at his command post. And the Reich Chancellor fighting to the last breath against the Bolshevism. For the Germans, the Soviet flag is raised over the Reich Chancellery building ordered by Stalin. Or by order of Stalin, yeah.
Yep. That same time, in 1945 as well, during World War II, up to 2,500 people died in a mass suicide in Demmin following the advance of the Red Army. Oh, dang.
Sounds suspicious.
Yeah.
Sounds like they got lined up and shot it. Who knows?
Yeah. And in 1947, Portella della Ginestra massacre against May Day celebrations in Sicily by the bandit and separatist leader Salvador Giuliano, where 11 people were murdered and 33 others were wounded. Dang.
Okay. Also, 1956, the polio vaccine developed by Jonas Salk is made available to the public.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah. 4 years
that
later.
That was a horrible accident.
Yes, it was. My dad was around. He knew people who died from it. So, polio, unlike current something happening, was very real and actually caused damage. So.
Yeah. Some people were lucky and had to walk with 2 canes.
Yeah.
Some people weren't so lucky. It had to be in the iron lung.
Yeah, man. You know what I want? I want that picture from Rocco's Modern Life, the sad crying clown in the iron lung. I want that painting. Only Nazi's kids will understand. They're like, hey, you got the picture. Yeah. Anyway, in 1960, during the Cold War, the U-2 incident occurred in which Francis Gary Powers, in a Lockheed U-2 spy plane, was shot down over the Sverdlovsk Oblast in the Soviet Union, sparking a diplomatic crisis. Yep.
Ah, damn. Also, 1970, Vietnam War protests erupt following the announcement of resignation that the U.S. and South Vietnamese forces would attack Vietnamese communists in a Cambodian campaign.
Yeah. Yeah, we spoke about that yesterday when they invaded it.
Yes.
1 year later, in 1971, Amtrak, the National Railroad Passenger Corporation, took over operation of U.S. passenger rail service. So now we have a monopoly. Don't we have laws against stuff like that? No, apparently not.
Yes, we do. So, let's see. 1975, the Saramani Amusement Park opens in Tampere, Finland.
Finland. 3 years later, in 1978, Japan's Naomi Umura, traveling by dog sled, became the first person to reach the North Pole alone. Ooh.
Nice. 1982, Operation Black Buck, the Royal Air Force attacked the Argentine Air Force during Falklands War.
Moving on up into 1994, three-time Formula One champion Ayrton Senna died from an accident during the San Marino Grand Prix. So that's
horrible.
That's 3 people now that we've reported on who've died during races like that.
1999, the body of British climber George Mallory is found on Mount Everest 75 years after his disappearance in 1924.
Dang. George Mallory. Is that good old green boots? Let me look this up here. There it is. George Mallory. Nope. That's yeah, I don't want to show a dead body. on
It's
video.
somebody who bit into a York peppermint patty.
Now just remember, all the dead bodies on Mount Everest used to belong to a very ambitious person. So be smart, be safe, be lazy. Jumping on up in
Somebody
2000.
New York peppermint patties.
Yeah, don't eat those. In 2003, during the invasion of Iraq, in what became known as the Mission Accomplished speech, oh god, here we go. On board the USS Abraham Lincoln off the coast of California, U.S. President George W. Bush declared that, quote, major combat operations in Iraq have ended, end quotes. And no, they didn't. No, they didn't. That was a fiasco. That was hilarious. I remember that. I was like, really, dude? Come on.
And 2004, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Estonia, Hungarian, Lithuania, also Poland, Slovakia, and Slovenia joined the European Union, celebrated at the residence of the Irish president in Dublin.
Dang. See,
all the fucking Eastern Europe
yeah.
countries.
Yeah.
And Poland.
Yeah. The whole Eastern Bloc. Like, no more Soviet Union. Nope, nope, nope.
No.
In 2009, same-sex marriage was legalized in Sweden. Weren't they the first country, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got it.
Yeah. And then 2 years later, in 2011, Pope John Paul II was beatified by his successor, Pope Benedict the 16th. Sorry.
Yep. Unfortunately, John Paul II died. In 2018, the Syrian Civil War, the Syrian Democratic Forces (SDF) resumed their Dare the Sword campaign in order to clear the remnants of the Islamic State of Iraq and Lebanon (ISIL) from the Iraq-Syria border.
Yeah, they're trying to stay away from ISIS because ISIS stands for Israeli Secret Intelligence Service. So that's why they're trying to change the name to subvert. Anyway, in 2019, Naruhito ascended to the throne of Japan, succeeding his father Akihito, beginning the Reiwa period. Huh. What else happened in 2019?
Also 2019, the Naxalite attack in Gadaroli district of India, 16 army soldiers, including the driver, killed in an IED blast with this improvised explosive device. Blast Naxal's target and anti-Naxal operations team.
Dang. Before we get into births and deaths, any articles intrigue you today?
Yeah, all the Eastern Bloc countries going to
The
European
EU.
Union.
Yeah.
Damn. The All China Federation.
Also,
Pluto.
the announcement that Hitler was dead.
No, he's fallen. He didn't say dead, he said fallen.
Yeah. He's fallen and he can't get up. Call life alert.
Imagine one of those idiots. Oh, help him back up, he gets smacked. He's dead, idiot.
Oh my god. But yeah, like also like same-sex marriage being legalized in Sweden. You know,
Yep.
the mission accomplished. Funny thing.
Pope Benedict the 16th.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
President Bush.
Amtrak becoming a monopoly, as well as that amusement park opening in Finland in 1975. That's like on par with Disneyland. Like they opened in the 70s too, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into bursts here. Why don't you start us off?
Okay. And 1218, John the First, Count of Herrenant.
1579, we have Wolfert Geresti, a Dutch-American farmer who co-founded New Netherland.
Old Netherlands, but New Netherlands.
What was New Netherland? Let me look that up real quick. Get a new Google. New Netherland was a 17th century colony of the Dutch Republic that was located on what is now the east coast of the U.S. That's where New York is, where it used to be called New Amsterdam. So yeah, that makes sense. New Netherland, New Amsterdam. Yeah. Who else was born today? 1594, we have John Haynes, an English-American politician who was the first governor of the colony of Connecticut. Cool.
Right. Also, 1672, Joseph Addison, English essayist, poet, playwright, and politician.
1764, Benjamin Henry Lathrop, an English-American architect who designed the United States Capitol. I don't need to look that up. I've been there.
1769, Arthur Wesley, 1st Duke of Wellington, Irish English field marshal and politician who was a Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
1780, Tabitha Moffat Brown, an American pioneer and educator whom was honored in 1987 by the state of Oregon as the Mother of Oregon. Interesting.
Cool. 1824, Alexander William Williamson, English chemist and academic.
Yeah, I always find it interesting. Why would people name their children with two of the same exact name? Like, actually, haven't we seen somebody named Alexandros or something like that? Like, something like that. Anyway, 1852, we have Calamity Jane, an American frontierswoman and professional scout.
1864, Anna Jarvis, American founder of the Mother's Day.
Yep. And isn't today Mother's Day?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. I was just like, wow, really? Like, you invent a holiday around your birthday? What a fucking... No. So, never mind. 1872, we have Hugo Alfave, Swedish composer, conductor, violinist, and painter.
1913, Walter Susskind, Czech English pianist, conductor, and educator.
That's very sus right there. I would say that's the king of sus. 1946, we have Joanna Lumley. She was an English actress, voiceover actress, author, and activist. In 1949, we have Paul Titu Sr., was a U.S. motorcycle designer who co-founded Orange County Chopper, so he's still going, so yeah.
Paul Sr., I know who he is.
Yeah. He's out in my neck of the woods.
1969, Wes Anderson, U.S. director, producer, and screenwriter.
Yeah. 1972, Ramzi bin al-Shibh, a Yemeni terrorist.
Okay. 1980, Jay Retard, U.S. singer, songwriter, and guitarist.
Oh, what a crappy name! Like, you want to talk about bad names?
That's why they had to put that's why they put an A by the R-E.
Yeah.
So retard.
It's like
what a retard.
He's a retard. He's a beam of light with a learning disorder. Anyway, 1982. Last but not least, we have Katia Zamolodchikiovia, a U.S. drag queen, and it sounds like Soviet propaganda to me. Like, look at that last name, and even the first name. And she's a drag queen, and look at the state of the world now. It's a little suspicious right there. That's the King Sus. Anyway, jumping on into death, starting us off in the year 408, we have Arcadius, who was a Byzantine emperor. And it sounds, I wonder if he had arcades. So.
Rang Zongyi, Chinese prince and pretender.
What year did he die?
980.
I'm checking this out. Wings of the... let's see here. Let's see if I can find anything about... well, it's not saying anything about pretenders. So, if anybody's interested in figuring out what a pretender is, I'm going to post this link into the underbar. Before I do, in 1187, Roger de Molin died on this date. He was a Grand Master of the Knights Hospitaller. Let's see here, 1255, we have Walter de Grey, an English prelate and statesman. But what's a prelate? So let's look that up real quick. Prelates. A prelate is a high-ranking member of the clergy who is an ordinary or who ranks in precedence with ordinaries. The word derives from the Latin praelatus, the last practicable of praefere, which means carry before, be set above or over, or prefer. Hence, a prelate is one set to over others. Alright. Link to that is, of course, in the description. 1572, we have Pope Pius V died on this date. And
1713, Johann Ludwig Bach. Not the same person, though. Okay. German violinist and composer.
Alright. 1873, we have David Livingstone, a Scottish English missionary and explorer. Is this Dr. Livingstone? Am I even getting that right?
Oh, no.
Dr. Livingstone, I presume? Let's see here. Yeah, okay, so Dr. Livingstone, I presume. David Livingstone. Was this David Livingstone? Yeah, so this is Dr. Livingstone, I presume. Okay. So he died on this date. Dang.
In 1943, Johann Oscar Smith, Norwegian religious leader who founded the Bernstam Christian Church.
1945, Joseph Goebbels died on this date, thank God. Was a German lawyer and politician who was a chancellor of Germany. He was basically Hitler's
Minister of Propaganda.
Yeah. Then 1945 as well, Magda Goebbels, German wife of Joseph Goebbels.
1960, Charles Holden, English architect who designed the Bristol Central Library.
Ah. I gotta check that out in 1 second, actually. Hold on. Bristol Central Library. Let's see here. What does it look like? Oh, that's pretty cool. I'd visit that. That's a cool library. Anyway, 1976, we have Theodore Roosevelt Mason Howard. He was a U.S. surgeon and activist. In 1978, we have Aram Kashanachirian, an Armenian composer and conductor.
1989, V.M. Panathelavaram, Sri Lankan civil servant.
I checked him up. Cannot find out what his first name is, but I see here it's V. Muthaya Panachaliam. Is as far of his name as I could find on hand. 1993, we have Ranasinghe Premadasa, bless me, a Sri Lankan politician who was the third president of Sri Lanka. Yeah, I'm sorry, but your name sounds like a sneeze.
1998, Eldridge Cleaver, U.S. author and activist.
So that is how you pronounce that name. So that sounds horrifying. Eldritch Cleaver? You know, now we're going to have like a Cthulhu Cleaver flying around. Anyway, 2003, we have Wim van Estabilicht, a Dutch cyclist.
2008, Anthony Mammo, Maltese judge and politician who was the first president of Malta.
Ah. And 2015, Maria Elena Velasco died on this date. She was a Mexican actress, singer, director, and screenwriter. And that concludes the show for the day. Once again, check the description for any links that you may be interested in, which also includes
Southern TV on Twitch.
And everything Omni Coalition. Come check us out on the actual Omni Coalition YouTube channel. We have a BitChute, we have an Odyssey, we have a Rumble. We're looking at Twitch, maybe a Discord server coming by someday. You know, who knows? Anyway, for your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream every day between noon to 3 p.m. Pacific time. You know, that's when we start. You saw a 3-hour show. That's just when we start at some point. But that time is also
2 to 5 Central.
Yep. For all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander.
I'm me.
And you are you. And until you see us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles! Let's go, Brandon.